Hello, word nerds. Welcome to this episode of The Dictionary. Previously, on The Dictionary, we read the word appellant. On this episode, we will be starting with the word appellate. A-P-P-E-L-L-A-T-E. This is an adjective from 1768 of relating to or recognizing appeals, specifically having the power to review the judgment of another tribunal, as in an appellate court. Next, we have appellation. This is not the appellation that we had a couple episodes ago. This is spelled A-P-P-E-L-L-A-T-I-O-N. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1. An identifying name or title. Synonym is designation. 2 is archaic. The act of calling by a name. 3. A geographical name, as of a region, village, or vineyard, under which a wine grower is authorized to identify and market wine, also the area designated by such a name. Next we have appellative. This is an adjective from the 15th century. 1. Of or relating to a common noun. 2. Of, relating to, or inclined to the giving of names. Appellative is also a noun, and appellatively is an adverb. Next we have appellee. A-P-P-E-L-L-E-E. It's a noun from 1531, one against whom an appeal is taken. Next we have append. This is a transitive verb from 1646. 1. We have the synonyms attach and affix. 2. To add as a supplement or appendix, as in a book. This is from the Latin word appendere, which means to hang or weigh out, and that is from pendere, which means to weigh, and there's more at the word pendant. Next we have appendage. This is a noun from 1647. 1. An adjunct to something larger or more important. Synonym is appurtenance. I don't know if I know that word. It is spelled A-P-P-U-R-T-E-N-A-N-C-E. 2. A usually projecting part of an animal or plant body that is typically smaller and of less functional importance than the main part to which it is attached, especially a limb or analogous part, as a seta or seta, S-E-T-A. I don't know what that is. 3. Before the definition for 3, in brackets, it says the word appendant, which is actually our next word. So it seems like it's a form of appendage. And it says, a dependent or subordinate person. So here we go with appendant. This is an adjective from the 15th century. 1. Belonging as a right by prescription, used of annexed land in English law. 2. Associated as an attendant circumstance. 3. And we have a similar situation as we did in the previous word. Before the definition in brackets, it says append, A-P-P-E-N-D. And the definition says, attached as an appendage, as in a seal appendant to a document. And appendant is also a noun. The etymology says this is Anglo-French from appendant, probably from appendre. That's a French word that I don't know how to pronounce, which means to belong or be subject. And that is from Middle Latin appendere, which means to be attached or belong to. Could also mean to be pending, and that is from pendere, which means to hang. Next we have appendectomy. This is a noun from circa 1895, surgical removal of the vermiform appendix. So I just learned a story about someone who should have had an appendectomy. What happened, I'll very quickly tell the story, but if you want to hear the whole story, go listen to my wife's podcast, Horrors Talk Horror, and listen to the episode called I See Dead People Part 2. So this person, her appendix ruptured, and she didn't know it. She knew something was going on, but she didn't realize that her appendix had ruptured. And what had happened was her body cocooned the area and basically held in all of the bacteria that was in there, and so it didn't spread to the rest of her body. She should have had an appendectomy right away after it burst. I assume it's still called an appendectomy after it bursts. But she didn't. She did get one later. But that's all the story I'm going to tell you. It gets way, way, way more interesting than that. Trust me. Next, we have a similar word that I don't think I've ever seen before. Appendicectomy. Appendicectomy. This is a noun from 1894, and it happens to be the British form of the word appendectomy. Next, we have appendicitis. This is a noun from 1886, inflammation of the vermiform appendix. Next, we have appendicular. It's an adjective from 1651, of or relating to an appendage and especially a limb, as in the appendicular skeleton. And here we go with the word appendix, what we've been talking about. This is a noun from 1542, 1a. We just have the synonym appendage. 1b, supplementary material usually attached at the end of a piece of writing. 2, a bodily outgrowth or process, specifically the synonym vermiform appendix. I didn't realize that our appendix is actually called the vermiform appendix. But if I remember that and I'm talking about the appendix with somebody, I will make a point to call it the vermiform appendix, just so I can sound fancy. Next, we have apperceive. So this is the word perceive with ap added to the beginning. This is a transitive verb from 1843, to have apperception of. And don't worry, apperception is the next word. It's a noun from 1753. 1, introspective self-consciousness. 2, mental perception, especially the process of understanding something perceived in terms of previous experience. I feel like those are interesting concepts. I may need to look into that a little bit more, but really anything that has to do with the brain and consciousness, I just find really interesting. So that might be the word of the episode. I don't know. Let's find out. Apperceptive is an adjective. Next, we have appertain. This is an intransitive verb from the 14th century, to belong or be connected as a rightful part or attribute. Synonym is pertain. The etymology says, I'm going to pare this down for you, from the Latin appertenere, which is from pertinere, which means to belong, and there's more at the word pertain. Next, we have appetence. Appetence. This is a noun from 1598, and we just have the synonym appetency. So it's the same word, but we've replaced the E at the very end with a Y, and that is our next word, appetency. It's a noun from 1611, a fixed and strong desire. Synonym is appetite. Appetent is an adjective. Next we have appetizer or appetizing. These are the British variations of appetizer and appetizing with a Z instead of an S. And here we go with the last word for the episode. It is appetite. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1, any of the instinctive desires necessary to keep up organic life, especially the desire to eat. I love food. 2a, an inherent craving, as in an insatiable appetite for work. 2b, we have the synonyms taste and preference, as in the cultural appetites of the time, and that is from J.D. Hart, H-A-R-T. And appetitive is an adjective. I don't know if I'm familiar with that form of that word. So this is from the Latin appetitus, which is from appetere, which means to strive after, and that is from petere, which means to go to, and there's more at the word, wait for it, feather, F-E-A-T-H-E-R. I am so curious how feather is related to this. But that is the end of the episode, and yes, the word that I'm going to pick is apperception. I just thought those were kind of interesting concepts. And until next time, you know it, say it with me. This is Spencer reading you the dictionary. Thank you and goodbye. Hello, word nerds. How you doing? What's going on? I don't really think there's much news with me. A couple nights ago, my wife and I and our friend went to see the new Rob Zombie movie, 3 from Hell. I know that might not be all of your taste, what you're into, but we like those movies, and we had a good time. So here we go with the first word for the episode. It is appetizer. Appetizer. One of my favorite foods. This is a noun from 1820. 1. A food or drink that stimulates the appetite and is usually served before a meal. Okay, so I had no idea that the appetizer was designed to stimulate the appetite. Usually when I'm eating an appetizer, I'm already hungry. So also, how would that work? How does food stimulate your appetite? I guess I understand that maybe some drinks can do that, but in my experience, usually an appetizer is food. I'm guessing calling a drink an appetizer is kind of an old thing to do. But yeah, if you're eating something, isn't that going to start to satiate your appetite instead of stimulate your appetite? I don't know. But let's read number 2. Something that stimulates a desire for more, as in a literary appetizer. I guess in my mind, I wouldn't use the word stimulate, but that's the word that they've decided to use, and the dictionary, of course, is always right. So yeah, we're just going to go with that. Next, we have appetizing. This is an adjective from 1653, appealing to the appetite, especially in appearance or aroma. Also, appealing to one's taste, as in an appetizing display of merchandise. Synonym is the word palatable. Appetizingly is an adverb. Next, we have an abbreviation, APPL. It's an abbreviation for the word applied. Next, we have the word applaud. This is a verb from the 15th century. First, we have the intransitive definition. To express approval, especially by clapping the hands. Here we have the transitive definitions. 1. To express approval of. Synonym is praise, as in, applaud her efforts to lose weight. 2. To show approval of, especially by clapping the hands. And for those who don't know, in the deaf community, because they can't hear or are very hard of hearing, instead of clapping, which makes a lot of noise, what they'll do instead is they'll raise up both of their hands near their head and they'll just kind of wave them back and forth. And so it provides a similar, I guess it provides a similar sort of stimulation. Instead of with the ears, it's with the eyes. We have applaudable is an adjective, applaudably is an adverb, and applauder is a noun. The etymology for applaud is from the Latin applaudere, very similar, and that is from plaudere, which means to applaud. Now we have applause. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1. Marked commendation. Synonym is acclaim, as in the kind of applause every really creative writer wants, and that is from Robert Tallant, Tallant. 2. Approval publicly expressed, as by clapping the hands. Next we have apple, A-P-P-L-E, a word that is probably in every child's alphabet book. This is a noun from before the 12th century. 1. The fleshy, usually rounded red, yellow, or green edible palm fruit of a usually cultivated tree. Genus Malus, of the rose family, also an apple tree. And then compare to the synonym crab apple. I said the word palm. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. It could be pome. It is spelled P-O-M-E. I don't know what that is, but I do know that there's a fruit called the pomegranate. So I wonder if they are related in some way. I also didn't know that apples were from the rose family. That's interesting. 2. A fruit as a star apple or other vegetative growth as an oak apple, suggestive of an apple. Now we have a phrase. It is apple of one's eye, one that is highly cherished, as in His daughter is the apple of his eye. The etymology for apple says it is from the Middle English apple, spelled A-P-P-E-L, which is from the Old English A-E-P-P-E-L, akin to the O-H-G apfel, A-P-F-U-L, which means apple. By the way, I just looked up O-H-G, and it means Old High German. Don't know why it's high. Maybe it's in the north. And that is from the Old Irish ubul, U-B-U-L-L, and it is also from the OCS abluco. I tried to look up what OCS stands for, and I'm not entirely sure. It is probably old something something. But my brain isn't working, so we're going to move on, which is apple butter. It's a noun from circa 1774, a thick brown spread made by cooking apples with sugar and spices and everything nice, usually in cider. Ooh. Next we have apple cart. It's one word. By the way, apple butter was two words. Apple cart is a noun from 1788, a plan, system, situation, or undertaking that may be disrupted or terminated, as in upset the apple cart. I'm curious how the word apple cart got used for that situation. The etymology on that must be interesting. Next, we have apple cheeked. There is a hyphen. This is an adjective from 1847, having cheeks the color of red apples, as in apple-cheeked youngsters. We are definitely in the apple section, because next is applejack. All one word. This is a noun from 1816, a brandy distilled from hard cider. I want this. Also, an alcoholic beverage traditionally made by freezing hard cider and siphoning off the concentrated liquor. Next we have apple knocker. There is a hyphen. Knocker is like your door knocker, K-N-O-C-K-E-R. This is a noun from 1919, and we just have the synonym rustic. Again, I'm interested in the etymology for this one. Next, we have apple maggot. Two words. Maggot is that bug thing that you probably don't like. This is a noun from 1867, a dipteran fly. I don't know if I pronounced dipteran right. Whose larva burrows in and feeds especially on apples. And we have a scientific name. It is Ragoletis Pomonella. First word is R-H-A-G-O-L-E-T-I-S. Second name is P-O-M-O-N-E-L-L-A. Next we have apple pie. There's a hyphen. It's an adjective from 1780. One, we have the synonyms excellent and perfect, as in apple pie order. Two, of relating to or characterized by traditionally American values as honesty or simplicity, as in, is the epitome of apple pie wholesomeness. I have to argue with American values being honesty and simplicity because probably those are values from other cultures and countries as well. Not that we don't have those, although I do think we are kind of losing those a little bit as a culture. Anyway, we will do one more for this episode. It is apple polish. A-P-P-L-E-P-O-L-I-S-H. This is a verb from 1935. To attempt to ingratiate oneself. Synonym is toady, T-O-A-D-Y. By the way, that was the intransitive definition. Now we have the transitive definition. It is to curry favor with, as by flattery. Curry, by the way, is C-U-R-R-Y. Apple polisher is a noun. And the etymology says that this is from the traditional practice of school children bringing a shiny apple as a gift to their teacher. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to pick applejack as the word of the episode because I'm not sure if I've ever tried any of this liquor, but I think I want to because I like sweet things, I like cider, and apples are good. So there you have it. That's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening, and until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to another episode of the dictionary. We are on the last section of page 60. I think we're going to skip the last word of the page because it goes on to page 61. About half of it is on each page. So we're going to skip that one. I'll tell you a secret. It's the word appoint. But we're not there yet. So just wait, okay? Just chill. First word for this episode is applesauce. All one word. It's spelled how you think it is. Applesauce. This is a noun from 1704. 1. A relish or dessert made of apples stewed to a pulp and sweetened. 2. Is slang. Synonyms are bunkum and nonsense. Next we have apple scab. 2 words. It's a noun from circa 1899. A disease of apple trees caused by a fungus producing dark blotches or lesions on the leaves, fruit, and sometimes the young twigs. There is a scientific name for the fungus. It is Venturia inaqualis. Next we have appellate. It's the word apple with a T at the end. This is a noun from 1990, a short computer application, especially for performing a simple specific task. Next we have appliance. This is a noun from 1561. 1. An act of applying. 2a. A piece of equipment for adapting a tool or machine to a special purpose. Synonym is attachment. 2b. An instrument or device designed for a particular use or function, as in an orthodontic appliance. Specifically, a household or office device as a stove, fan, or refrigerator operated by gas or electric current. 2c is British, and it's the synonym fire engine. So I guess in the UK, they call fire engines appliances. If you're from the UK, and I know at least a couple of you are, let me know if I have that correctly. And also tell me why you do this. Thank you. 3 is obsolete. We have the synonym compliance. And then at the end we have one more synonym for all definitions. It is the word implement. Next we have applicable. This is an adjective from 1655. Capable of or suitable for being applied. Synonym is appropriate. As in, statutes applicable to the case. And then we have another synonym. It's the word relevant. Applicability is a noun. Now we have applicant. This is a noun from 1776. One who applies, as in a job applicant. Now we have application. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1. An act of applying. And then after the word applying, there is a colon, which leads us into some subforms of number 1. So here we go with 1A1. An act of putting to use, as in application of new techniques. 1A2. A use to which something is put, as in new applications for old remedies. 1A3. A program, as a word processor or a spreadsheet, that performs one of the major tasks for which a computer is used. 1b. An act of administering or superposing, as in application of paint to a house. 1c. Assiduous attention, as in succeeds by application to her studies. 2a. We have the synonyms request and petition, as in an application for financial aid. 2b. A form used in making a request. 3. The practical interference to be derived from a discourse as a moral tale. 4. A medicated or protective layer or material, as in an oily application for dry skin. 5. Capacity for practical use, as in words of varied application. Next we have applicative. This is an adjective from 1638. 1. We have the synonyms applicable and practical. 2. Put to use. Synonym is applied. Applicatively is an adverb. Next we have applicator. This is a noun from 1659. one that applies, specifically a device for applying a substance as medicine or polish. And real quick, looking back at the pronunciation guide, it looks like applicative can also be pronounced applicative. I probably should have put this earlier, but I didn't. But we are going to move on to applicatory, or also applicatory. This is an adjective from 1649, capable of being applied. Applied is our next word. Yay! This is an adjective from 1656. 1. Put to practical use, as in applied art. Especially applying general principles to solve definite problems, as in applied sciences. 2. Working in an applied science, as in an applied physicist. Next we have applique, applique, and there's an accent on the E. This is the first form. It's a noun from 1801, a cutout decoration fastened to a larger piece of material. And here we have the second form of applique. It is a transitive verb from 1864, to apply as a decoration or ornament to a larger surface. Synonym is overlay. Next we have apply. It's a verb from the 14th century. Let's start with the transitive definitions. 1a, to put to use, especially for some practical purpose, as in applies pressure to get what he wants. That might not be the best way to go about things. 1b, to bring into action, as in apply the brakes. 1c, to lay or spread on, as in apply varnish. 1d, to put into operation or effect, as in apply a law. 2, to employ diligently or with close attention, as in should apply yourself to your work. Yeah, because if you don't, you'll get fired. Now we have the intransitive definitions. 1, to have relevance or a valid connection, as in this rule applies to freshmen only. 2, to make an appeal or request, especially in the form of a written application, as in apply for a job. And applier is a noun. And here we go with our last word for the episode. It is an Italian word. I will say it slightly Italian-y, but I don't want to come off as being mean or racist or anything. It is the word appoggiatura. appoggiatura. This is a noun from 1753, an embellishing note or tone preceding an essential melodic note or tone and usually written as a note of smaller size. And as I said, this is Italian and it literally means support. I am actually going to go ahead and pick appoggiatura as the word of the episode because it's a great word to say. It's related to music, which I love, and that is all the information you need from me. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. Say hi on Facebook and my email address and Twitter. And until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to another episode of the dictionary. If my math is correct, today should be September 30th, 2019. And as long as Google didn't lie to me, today is the Jewish holiday Rosh Hashanah. I grew up celebrating a few of the Jewish holidays, but I also grew up celebrating some of the Christian holidays: Easter, Christmas, Hanukkah, Rosh Hashanah, Passover. I'm a terrible Jew. I didn't go to Hebrew school. I didn't do any of that stuff. We just did a few of the holidays because they were tradition. My mom's side is Jewish. I think this is the new year. I should probably look this up. And yes, it is the new year, and technically it starts at sundown on September 29th, so yesterday, and it ends at sundown on Tuesday, October 1st. So this is the only full day of Rosh Hashanah. Anyway, happy Rosh Hashanah to all of you, and if you don't celebrate it, then happy end of September. The first word for this episode is appoint, A-P-P-O-I-N-T. As I mentioned before, this is at the very, very, very bottom of page 60. This is a verb from the 14th century. The transitive definitions are 1a, to fix or set officially, as in appoint a trial date. 1b, to name officially, as in will appoint her director of the program. 1c is archaic. It has the synonym arrange. 1d, to determine the disposition of an estate to someone by virtue of a power of appointment. 2. To provide with complete and usually appropriate or elegant furnishings or equipment, as in a beautifully appointed room. Now we have the intransitive definition. It is to exercise a power of appointment. And now we have a synonym for all definitions. It is the word furnish. Next we have appointee. It's the word appoint with 2 e's at the end. This is a noun from 1768. 1. One who is appointed. 2. One to whom an estate is appointed. Now we have appointive, I-V-E at the end. This is an adjective from 1880 of relating to or filled by appointment, as in an appointive office. Next we have appointment. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1a, an act of appointing. Synonym is designation. 1b, the designation by virtue of a vested power of a person to enjoy an estate. 2, an arrangement for a meeting. Synonym is engagement, as in an appointment for an interview. 3 has 2 synonyms. They are equipment and furnishings, usually used in plural, so appointments, as in expensive homes with luxurious appointments. I'm not in real estate, so I've never heard it used that way. It's a little bit weird to me. 4, a non-elective office or position, as in holds an academic appointment. Next we have apportion, A-P-P-O-R-T-I-O-N. This is a transitive verb from 1574, to divide and share out according to a plan, especially to make a proportionate division or distribution of. Apportionable is an adjective. This is from the Middle French optionnaire. Oh man, I hate saying French words because I'm so bad at it. And that is from just the portionnaire, taking off the A, and that means to portion. Next we have apportionment. This is a noun from 1579, an act or result of apportioning, especially the apportioning of representatives or taxes among the states according to U.S. law. Next we have oppose, A-P-P-O-S-E. Kind of sounds like oppose with an O at the beginning, but it's not. This is a transitive verb from 1596. 1 is archaic. To put before, apply one thing to another. 2, to place in juxtaposition or proximity. This is from the Middle French apposer, which is from the Old French, which is from a plus poser, which means to put, and there's more at the word pose. Now we have another word that sounds like a different word that starts with O, but it's not. It is opposite. So it's the word opposite, but with an A at the beginning. This is an adjective from 1621, highly pertinent or appropriate. Synonym is apt, A-P-T, as in opposite remarks. Or maybe it's apposite. There's another synonym. It's the word relevant. Appositely is an adverb, and appositeness is a noun. And the etymology says this is from the Latin verb apponere, which means to place near, and that is from ponere, which means to put, and there's more at the word position. And here we have apposition. So it's like opposition with an A. Yet again, this is a noun from the 15th century. 1a, a grammatical construction in which 2 usually adjacent nouns have the same referent stand in the same syntactical relation to the rest of a sentence. So an example of what apposition is in this definition is, there's a quote, a biography of the poet Burns. So the part that's apposition is the poet and Burns. Hopefully that makes sense to you. 1b, the relation of one of such a pair of nouns or noun equivalents to the other. 2a, An act or instance of apposing, specifically the deposition of successive layers upon those already present, as in cell walls. 2b. The state of being apposed. Appositional is an adjective. Next we have appositive. It's the word positive with AP at the beginning. This is an adjective from 1693 of relating to or standing in grammatical apposition. Appositive is a noun and appositively is an adverb. And I'm not sure how the A is pronounced. Is it appositive, apositive, apositive? Something like that. Next and last word for this episode is appraisal, appraisal. This is a noun from 1817, an act or instance of appraising, especially a valuation of property by the estimate of an authorized person. This episode had a lot of words that I had never heard before, and I don't totally understand what they mean still. But the word that I'm going to pick for the word of the episode is appointment. I feel like these are things that I have just about every day in my life, sometimes many in a day, and I don't know, that just sort of has a special place in my heart because my life is filled with appointments. I don't totally mind that. All right, that is the end of the episode. Thank you for getting there. Until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds, and happy October to you. This is the best month in my household. My wife is a huge, huge Halloween fan and just fall in general. I also love Halloween and love the fall, but she really takes the cake between the two of us. So we will probably be decorating our place for Halloween today. Maybe it was even yesterday. And those Halloween decorations very well may stay up for like 6 months. That literally has happened before. Yesterday, I saw a movie, and I suggest that you all go see it if you can. It is The Peanut Butter Falcon. It is a really, really beautiful movie, and that's really all I have to say about it because I don't like telling people about what movies are about or what I think about movies. I like them to be as open as possible. I don't like to give them any expectations. And I realize that me saying it's a beautiful movie is, creating expectations anyway. But I'm not going to give you any details. All right, let's get to the words. First word is appraise, appraise. This is a transitive verb from the 15th century. 1. To set a value on. Estimate the amount of. As in, appraise the damage. 2. To evaluate the worth, significance, or status of, especially to give an expert judgment of the value or merit of, as in, appraise an actor's career. Synonym is the word estimate or estimate. I guess either one might work. Appraisee is a noun. Appraisement is also a noun. And the etymology says this is from, Anglo-French appraiser, which is from praiser, which means to prize or praise. Next we have appreciable. This is an adjective from 1818, capable of being perceived or measured, as in no appreciable difference. Synonym is the word perceptible. Appreciably is an adverb. Now we have appreciate. This is a verb from 1655. Let's start with the transitive definitions. 1a. To grasp the nature, worth, quality, or significance of, as in, appreciate the difference between right and wrong. 1b. To value or admire highly, as in, appreciates our work. 1c. To judge with heightened perception or understanding, be fully aware of, as in, must see it to appreciate it. 1d. To recognize with gratitude, as in, certainly appreciates your kindness. If you don't appreciate somebody's kindness, there is something wrong with you. We need a lot more appreciation and gratefulness in our life and in the world. And we also need more kindness. We need both of those things. 2. To increase the value of. Now we have the intransitive definition. It is to increase in number or value. Appreciator is a noun. Appreciatory is an adjective. This is from the Latin appreciatus or pretiatus, and that is from pretium, which means price, and there's more at the word price. Now we have some synonym information for appreciate. Appreciate, value, prize, treasure, and cherish mean to hold in high estimation. Appreciate often connotes sufficient understanding to enjoy or admire a thing's excellence, as in appreciates fine wine. I don't, I'm sorry. Value implies rating a thing highly for its intrinsic worth, as in values our friendship. I do value our friendship. You and me, you know who I'm talking to. It's you, yeah. Prize implies taking a deep pride in something one possesses, as in Americans prize their freedom. Treasure emphasizes jealousy, safeguarding something considered precious, as in a treasured memento. Cherish implies a special love and care for something, as in cherishes her children above all. And then in addition to all of those synonyms, we have another one. It is the word understand. Next, we have the word appreciation. This is a noun from 1604. 1a, the synonyms are judgment and evaluation, especially a favorable critical estimate. 1b, sensitive awareness, especially recognition of aesthetic values. 1c, an expression of admiration, approval, or gratitude. 2, increase in value. Now we have appreciative. This is an adjective from circa 1698, having or showing appreciation, as in an appreciative audience, also as in was appreciative of his good luck. Appreciatively is an adverb, and appreciativeness is a noun. This is the section about appreciating things and being grateful. I like that. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about this exact thing, about how there should be more appreciation for things and gratefulness. And so that happened yesterday. Next, we have the word apprehend. This is a verb from the 15th century. The transitive definitions are first. 1. Synonyms are arrest and seize, S-E-I-Z-E, as in apprehend a thief. 2a, to become aware of, synonym is perceive. 2b, to anticipate, especially with anxiety, dread, or fear. 3, to grasp with the understanding, recognize the meaning of. The intransitive definition just has two synonyms. They are understand and grasp. Next, we have apprehensible. This is an adjective from the 15th century, capable of being apprehended, as in an easily apprehensible truth. Apprehensibly is an adverb. Now we have apprehension. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1a, the act or power of perceiving or comprehending, as in a person of dull apprehension. 1b, the result of apprehending mentally, synonym is conception, as in according to popular apprehension. 2. Seizure by legal process, synonym is arrest, as in apprehension of a criminal. 3. Suspicion or fear, especially of future evil, synonym is foreboding, as in an atmosphere of nervous apprehension. Next we have apprehensive. This is an adjective from the 14th century. 1. Capable of apprehending or quick to do so, synonym is discerning. 2. Having apprehension, synonym is cognizant, C-O-G-N-I-Z-A-N-T. 3. Viewing the future with anxiety or alarm. Synonym for all is the word fearful. Apprehensively is an adverb, and apprehensiveness is a noun. Now we have the first form of two, which are the last for this episode. It is apprentice, A-P-P-R-E-N-T-I-C-E. This first form is a noun from the 14th century. 1a, one bound by indenture to serve another for a prescribed period with a view to learning an art or trade. 1b, one who is learning by practical experience under skilled workers a trade, art, or calling. 2. An inexperienced person. Synonym is novice, as in an apprentice in cooking. Apprenticeship is a noun, and the etymology is, Anglo-French apprentice, which is from apprendre, which means to learn. And now we have the second form of apprentice. It's a verb from 1596. The transitive definition is to set at work as an apprentice, especially to bind to an apprenticeship by contract or indenture. And the intransitive definition says to serve as an apprentice. The word of the episode is appreciate. Please try to bring more of that into your life. I'm trying to bring that more into your life, into my life. I'm trying to bring it into your life too, I guess, by saying that. And just when something goes your way, when something good happens, even when something bad happens, just appreciate it. Appreciate it for what it is. I know negative things feel bad and you feel like, well, why would I want to appreciate that? But in my experience, and it's a cliche to say, I think everything happens for a reason. I've noticed so many good things that come from what seemingly were bad things. And so I appreciate those bad things because there's something good that's going to come out of it. And so I appreciate it for what it is. I accept it. I think that's huge too, just accepting whatever it is that comes your way. And I think you'll just be happier and feel better. Those are my 2 cents. This is the end of the episode. Thank you for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to this next episode of the dictionary. The first word is oppressed. A-P-P-R-E-S-S-E-D. Give me some letters, 3 at a time. There we go. All right, this is an adjective from 1613. Pressed close to or lying flat against something, as in leaves oppressed against the stem. This is from the Latin opprimere, which means to press to, and that is from premere, which means to press, and there's more at the word press. Next we have oppressorium. This is a noun from 1897. The flattened, thickened tip of a hyphal branch by which some parasitic fungi attach to and penetrate their host. That doesn't sound good. Except for the fungi. Next we have apprise. This is a transitive verb from 1694. To give notice to. Synonym is tell, as in they apprised him of his rights. Synonym is the word inform. I don't know why they don't have this last synonym inform with the previous synonym tell. Why do they put it at the end? I don't know. The etymology says this is from the French appris, with an S at the end, which is from apprendre, which means to learn or teach, and that's good for that. Next we have apprise again. The first one had an S, this one has a Z. This is a transitive verb. From the 14th century, synonyms are value and appreciate, and the etymology is pretty similar to the last one. Next we have appro, A-P-P-R-O. This is an abbreviation for approval. Now we have the first form of the word approach. This is a verb from the 13th century. Transitive definitions are first. 1a, to draw closer to. Synonym is near, N-E-A-R, as in approach a destination. 1b, to come very near to. Be almost the same as in its mathematics approaches mysticism. That is from Theodore Sturgeon. I want to know what Theodore Sturgeon was talking about when he said that or wrote that. Also, as the quantity x approaches 0. 2a, to make advances to, especially in order to create a desired result, as in was approached by several Broadway producers. 2b, to take preliminary steps toward accomplishment or full knowledge or experience of, as in approach the subject with an open mind. Now we have two intransitive definitions. They are 1, to draw nearer, as in the time is fast approaching. 2, to make an approach in golf. Now we have the second form of approach. It's a noun from the 15th century. 1a, an act or instance of approaching. Synonym is the approach of summer. Right now we have the approach of autumn. 1b, we have the synonym approximation, as in this book, he makes his closest approach to greatness. 2a, the talking of preliminary steps toward a particular purpose, as in experimenting with new lines of approach. 2b, a particular manner of taking such steps, as in a highly individual approach to language. 3, a means of access. Synonym is avenue. 4a, a golf shot from the fairway toward the green. 4b, the steps taken by a bowler before delivering the ball. Also, the part of the alley behind the foul line from which the bowler delivers the ball. 5, the descent of an aircraft toward a landing place. Next is approachable. This is an adjective from 1571, capable of being approached. Synonym is accessible. Specifically, easy to meet or deal with, as in friendly and approachable people. Approachability is a noun. Next we have approbate, A-P-P-R-O-B-A-T-E. This is a transitive verb from the 15th century, and we have the synonyms approve and sanction. Next is approbation, and this will be the last word for the episode. It is spelled A-P-P-R-O-B-A-T-I-O-N. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1 is obsolete, and it is the synonym proof, P-R-O-O-F. 2a, an act of approving formally or officially. 2b, synonyms are commendation and praise. Approbatory, or it could also be pronounced approbatory, is an adjective. I'm going to pick approachable as the word of the episode. I personally don't think that I looked or act very approachable, but I know in my mind that I am. I know that I'm not going to be mean to anybody. I'm going to be very kind and warm, unless I'm in a bad mood, which isn't very often. But I've gotten this feeling over the years that when people look at me, for whatever reason, they just feel like they don't want to talk to me. I guess sometimes I look weird. I've looked mean in the past. I had a buzz cut for a long time. But I'm telling all of you, it's not true. All right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer reading you the dictionary in a very, very nice and kind way. Okay, bye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to a new episode of the dictionary. The first word is appropriate. A-P-P-R-O-P-R-I-A-T-E. This happens to be the first form of 2. It's a transitive verb from the 15th century. 1, to take exclusive possession of. Synonym is annex. As in, no one should appropriate or appropriate. Aha, this one's appropriate, not appropriate. I'll do that example again. No one should appropriate a common benefit. I should have looked at the pronunciation guide. Number 2, to set apart for or assign to a particular purpose or use. As in, appropriate money for the research program. 3, to take or make use of without authority or right. Appropriable is an adjective and appropriator is a noun. Here is where we have the other form of appropriate. It's not appropriate, it's appropriate. And I am saying it appropriately. This is an adjective from the 15th century, especially suitable or compatible. Synonym is fitting, as in an appropriate response. Also, as in remarks appropriate to the occasion. We have another synonym. It is the word fit. First it was fitting, now it is fit. Appropriately is an adverb, and appropriateness is a noun. Now we have appropriation. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1, an act or instance of appropriating. Next we have appropriation. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1. An act or instance of appropriating. 2. Something that has been appropriated, specifically money set aside by formal action to a specific use. Appropriative is an adjective. Next we have approvable. This is an adjective from the 15th century, capable or worthy of being approved, as in an approvable plan. Approvably is an adverb. Next we have approval. This is a noun from 1613, an act or instance of approving. Synonym is approbation. We have a phrase, it's a two-word phrase, not much of a phrase. It is on approval, and that means subject to a prospective buyer's acceptance or refusal, as in stamps sent to collectors on approval. Now we have the word approve. This is going to take a little bit because we have some synonym information. This is a verb from the 14th century. Transitive definitions are first, as usual. 1 is obsolete. Synonyms are prove and attest. 2. To have or express a favorable opinion of, as in couldn't approve such conduct. 3a. To accept as satisfactory, as in hopes she will approve the date of the meeting. 3b. To give formal or official sanction to. Synonym is ratify, as in Congress approved the proposed budget. Now we have the intransitive definition. It is to take a favorable view, as in doesn't approve of fighting. Approvingly is an adverb, and here's the synonym information. Approve, endorse, sanction, accredit, and certify mean to have or express a favorable opinion of. Approve often implies no more than this, but may suggest considerable esteem or admiration, as in, the parents approve of the marriage. Endorse suggests an explicit statement of support, as in, publicly endorsed her for senator. Sanction implies both approval and authorization, as in, the president sanctioned covert operations. Accredit and certify usually imply official endorsement attesting to conformity to set standards, as in the board voted to accredit the college, or must be certified to teach. All right, we are moving on to the next one. It is approved school. 2 words. This is a noun from 1932. It is British. It means a school for juvenile delinquents. I wonder why they call it an approved school. All right, next we have approx, A-P-P-R-O-X. This is an abbreviation for approximate, or approximate, or approximately. And here we go with approximate. And yes, I did look at the pronunciation guide. This is the first form. The second form is approximate. So the first form, approximate, is an adjective from the 15th century. 1. Located close together, as in approximate leaves. Is that really something people say, approximate leaves? The leaves are close together? Maybe they do in a tree. Maybe certain trees have leaves that are more closely together and other trees have leaves that are, more sparse, more spread apart. Number 2, nearly correct or exact, as in an approximate solution. Approximately is an adverb. The etymology says that this is from the Latin approximatus, which is from approximare, which means to come near, and that is from proximare, which means also to come near, and there's more at the word proximate. Next we have approximate. This is a verb from the 15th century. Transitive is first. 1a, to bring near or close. 1b, to bring together. And then in parentheses in the middle it says cut edges of tissue. So in all it says to bring cut edges of tissue together. And that's really just an example of what things are being brought together. So I guess like when you're giving somebody stitches, you are approximating the tissues, the cut edges of the tissue. Maybe. Any doctors out there want to confirm that? All right, number 2. To come near to or be close to in position, value, or characteristics, as in, a child tries to approximate his parents' speech. I've actually thought about this a lot. I always hear myself saying things or doing things that are similar to my parents. I don't think we really do it consciously. I think when we're kids, we definitely approximate or copy or, ape what our parents do and say. And that's a big reason of why we do the things that we do when we're adults. We've seen them do it, or whoever the adults are that are in our lives. But yeah, this is a whole nature versus nurture thing. And it really goes with your friends too. If you've been friends with somebody for a long time, you end up doing things very similar to them. You laugh the same way. You say the same phrases. You'll use the same intonation in your words. It's really a fascinating thing that our brain does. But anyway, let's get to the intransitive definition for approximate. It means to come close, usually used with the word to, T-O. Next is approximation. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1. The act or process of drawing together. 2. The quality or state of being close or near, as in an approximation to the truth. Also as in an approximation of justice. 3. Something that is approximate, especially a mathematical quantity that is close in value to, but not the same as a desired quantity. Approximative is an adjective. Next we have APPT. This is an abbreviation for appoint, appointed, or appointment. Next we have APPTD. This is an abbreviation for appointed, one of the 3 words that I just read in the other abbreviation. And lastly, we have the word appurtenance. APPURTENANCE. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1. An incidental right, as a right-of-way, attached to a principal property right and passing in possession with it. 2. A subordinate part or adjunct, as in, the appurtenance of welcome is fashion and ceremony, and that is from Shakespeare. 3 is plural. Accessory objects, synonym is apparatus, as in, the appurtenances of wealth. That is going to be the last word of the episode. And yes, it did go on to the second page, or the next page, not the second page. You probably heard some paper going around there. I need to pick a word. Let's figure it out what that's going to be. I honestly have no idea which word to pick, so I'm going to close my eyes and point, and let's see what we get. We have the word approve. I put my finger right in the middle of its entire definition. So there you have it. The word is approve. I approve that. That's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds, and welcome to a new episode of the dictionary. If your birthday is October 4th, happy birthday. If it's not, listen to this on another day and pretend I said a different day. So I just landed about 2 hours ago from a work trip in Orlando. I'm running a little bit low on episodes, and so I need to record more so I can edit them, because in addition, I am actually leaving tomorrow morning to go to LA for personal reasons. Those personal reasons are kind of silly. I have decided to be a guest. I kind of invited myself, actually, to be a guest on the Weird Alphabet podcast. They go through Weird Al songs in alphabetical order, and they discuss them. Each episode is a different song. They were gracious enough to let me come down and record this, which I will be doing from the time I'm recording this 2 days from now. If you're a fan of Weird Al music, I suggest you go check out this podcast. If you're not, I suggest you listen to it anyway. At the very least, listen to my wonderfully dulcet vocal tones. No, don't do that. But you should still listen. Anyway, let's get to the words. We are at the top of page 62, and the first word is appurtenant. I think our last word was appurtenance. This is spelled APPURTENANT. It's an adjective from the 14th century. 1. Constituting a legal accompaniment. 2. We have the synonyms auxiliary and accessory. Or is it auxiliary? However you want to say it, that's the word. As in, appurtenant equipment. Appurtenant is also a noun. Now we have an abbreviation. It is capital APR, and it is an abbreviation for April. Now we have APR again, but it is all caps, and it's an abbreviation for annual percentage rate. When you become an adult, this is an abbreviation you see pretty often. Next we have apraxia. APRAXIA. This is a noun from circa 1881. Loss or impairment of the ability to execute complex coordinated movements without muscular or sensory impairment. Apractic, APRACTIC, or apraxic are adjectives. The etymology says this is from a Greek word which means inaction. It doesn't tell me what the word is, or maybe apraxia is the Greek word, and that is from a plus praxis, which means action, and that is from prasin, which means to do, and there's more at the word practical. Next we have apres, APRES, and the E has an accent over it. This is French. Let's see, this is a preposition from 1889, and it just has the synonym after, AFTER, as in après tennis, and it is usually used in combination, as in après theater party, so after theater party. Now we have après ski. That's the ski word where you put the two things on your feet and you go down the snow, and there is a hyphen in between the two words. This is a noun from 1951, and it just says social activity as at a ski lodge after a day's skiing. I'm sure many of you have had a day of skiing or even an hour of skiing and then decided that was enough, I'm done with that, and I'm going to go relax, and that would be called après ski. Next we have the word apricot, or as some people like to say, apricot. This is a noun from 1580, 1a, the oval orange-colored fruit of a temperate zone tree, resembling the related peach and plum in flavor. The temperate zone tree is Prunus armeniaca. 1b, a tree that bears apricots. 2, a variable color averaging a moderate orange. The etymology says that this is an alternative of the earlier word abricock, Abrecock, which is from the Arabic al-birkuk, which means the apricot, and that is from the Latin persicum or praecox, which literally means early ripening. And then in parentheses it says peach, and there's more at the word precocious. Interesting. Next we have the word April, the month, I'm guessing. This is a noun from before the 12th century, the 4th month of the Gregorian calendar. Now we have April Fool. This is a noun from 1693, the butt of a joke or trick played on April Fool's Day, also such a joke or trick. Fun fact, one of my good friends is actually born on April Fool's Day, and it explains so much. That is our next word, April Fool's Day. It could be pronounced April Fool's Day with a apostrophe S for fools, or it could be foolses with the apostrophe after the S. This is a noun from 1753, April 1st, characteristically marked by the playing of practical jokes. Next we have a priori, and this is bringing up nightmares of a previous word. If you don't know what those nightmares are, please go back and listen to everything. This is an adjective from 1652. 1a, the synonym is deductive. 1b, relating to or derived by reasoning from self-evident propositions. Compare to, here it is, a posteriori. Now, I looked this up after I edited the episode, and maybe I should do that again. The emphasis was on a different part than I expected. So I think it's pronounced a or a posteriori. Posteriori. Sure, let's just say that's good. Hopefully I redeem myself. All right, here we go with 1C. Presupposed by experience. 2A. Being without examination or analysis. Synonym is presumptive. 2B. Formed or conceived beforehand. A priori is also an adverb, and a priority is a noun. This is Latin, and it literally means from the former. All right, next and last word is apron, apron. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1. A garment usually of cloth, plastic, or leather, usually tied around the waist and used to protect clothing or adorn a costume. 2. Something that suggests or resembles an apron in shape, position, or use, as 2A. The lower member under the sill of the interior casing of a window. 2B. An upward or downward vertical extension of a bathroom fixture as a sink or tub. 2C. An endless belt for carrying material. 2D. An extensive fan-shaped deposit of detritus. 2E. The part of the stage in front of the proscenium arch. 2F. The area along the waterfront edge of a pier or wharf. 2G. A shield, as of concrete or gravel, to protect against erosion, as of a waterway by water. 2H. The extensive paved part of an airport immediately adjacent to the terminal area or hangars. That was a lot of definitions. We have an adjective form. It is aproned. The etymology says this is Middle English, an alternative from a word napron or napron, which is from Middle French, naperon, which is a diminutive of nape, which means cloth, which is modified of the Latin mappa, which means napkin. I'm going to pick après-ski as the word of the episode because it's just such a great feeling to just relax after you've done something physically active. It feels so good to be physically active, but then when you're done, it just feels so good to relax and know that you worked out, you did something good for your body, and now you can just chill. So that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, word nerds. Welcome to another episode of the dictionary. By the time this airs, I will have recorded that silly episode on the Weird Alphabet podcast, but at the time of recording, I have not. So I'm just going to say it went amazingly. So as I was listening to the October 4th episode, which is today, the day I'm recording this, I realized that I forgot to mention my grandma's birthday. She turned 93 today, and in a couple of days on Sunday, I will be visiting her with some other family members. So happy birthday, Grandma Loie. The first word for this episode is apron string, apron. Second word, string. This is a noun from 1542. The string of an apron, usually used in plural as a symbol of dominance or complete control, as in, through 40 years old, he was still tied to his mother's apron strings. Next we have apropos. It's the first form, and it's spelled apropos. This is an adverb from 1668. 1. At an opportune time. Synonym is seasonably. 2. By way of interjection or further comment, with regard to the present topic. This is French, apropos, literally means to the purpose. Now we have the second form of apropos. This is an adjective from 1686, and it means being both relevant and opportune, as in apropos comments. Synonym is the word relevant. Now we have the third and final form of apropos. It's a preposition from 1751, and the definition is just the synonym apropos of. So it's a phrase, and that is our next entry in the dictionary. It's a preposition from 1732, and it means with regard to. Synonym is concerning. Next we have aprotic. Aprotic. This is an adjective from 1931, In italics, it says of a solvent. Then there's a colon, and then we have the actual definition, which says incapable of acting as a proton donor. Next we have apse, A-P-S-E. This is a noun from 1715. We have the one definition for the word apsis or apsis. I don't know which it is, but we're going to get to it soon. 2. A projecting part of a building as a church that is usually semicircular in plan and vaulted. Next we have apsidal, A-P-S-I-D-A-L. This is an adjective from 1807, of or relating to an apse or apsis. And here we have apsis, A-P-S-I-S. This is a noun from 1601. 1. The point in an astronomical orbit at which the distance of the body from the center of attraction is either greatest or least. 2. We have the 2 definition for apse, which is the one that we read before. Interesting. The etymology says this is New Latin apsis, which means arch or orbit, and that is from the Greek word hapsid or hapsis, which is from haptine, which means to fasten. Now we have the word apt, A-P-T. It's the first form. It's an adjective from the 14th century. 1. Unusually fitted or qualified. Synonym is ready, as in proved an apt tool in the hands of the conspirators. 2a. Having a tendency. Synonym is likely, as in plants apt to suffer from drought. 2b. Ordinarily disposed. Synonym is inclined, as in apt to accept what is plausible as true. 3. Suited to a purpose, especially being to the point, as in an apt quotation. 4. Keenly intelligent and responsive, as in an apt pupil. I think that was the name of a movie, Apt Pupil. I think it was sort of like a thriller, not quite horror, but more of a thriller movie. I never saw it. So all in all, we have a couple more synonyms. Says the word, see the words fit and quick. And then it says usage, see the word liable, and aptly is an adverb, and aptness is a noun. This is from the Latin aptus, which literally means fastened, from the verb appere, which means to fasten, akin to the Latin apisci, A-P-I-S-C-I, which means to grasp or obtain, and that is from apud or apud, A-P-U-D, which means near, and it is from the, they abbreviate these words and I don't know what they are, H-I-T-T. That's a language that I should probably know, but I don't. And that word in that language is the prefix H-A-P, which means to attach. Now we have the second form of apt. It's an abbreviation for 1, apartment, or 2, aptitude. Now we have the word apterous. It's an adjective from 1775. It means lacking wings, as in apterous insects. This is one of those words that I might actually remember when I see it in the real world. This is from the Greek apteros, which is from pteron, which is spelled P-T-E-R-O-N, which means wing, and there's more at the word feather. Next we have apteryx. This is a noun from 1813, and we just have the one definition for the word kiwi. The etymology is pretty much the same as the previous word. Now we have aptitude. This is a noun from the 15th century. 1a, we have the synonyms inclination and tendency, as in an aptitude for hard work. 1b, a natural ability. Synonym is talent. 2, capacity for learning, as in an aptitude for languages. 3, general suitability. Synonym is aptness. For all definitions, we have another synonym. It is the word gift. Aptitudinal is an adjective, and aptitudinally is an adverb. This is from Middle Latin aptitudo, which means fitness, and that is from the Latin word aptus. Doesn't say what that word means, so you're going to have to look it up yourself. Next, we have aptitude test. This is a noun from 1919, a standardized test designed to predict an individual's ability to learn certain skills. Next, we have APU, all caps. This is an abbreviation for Auxiliary Power Unit. Next, we have apparase, APYRASE. This is a noun from 1945, any of several enzymes that catalyze the hydrolysis of ATP to AMP with the liberation of phosphate and energy. You gotta liberate phosphate and energy. I mean, they're just trapped otherwise. They gotta be free. Next, we have AQ. It's an abbreviation for 1, aqua, or 2, aqueous, or aqueous. AQUEOUS, a word that has 4 vowels in a row. Next, we have the word aqua. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1 is plural, aquae, AQUAE, and that just means water, especially the 5A2 definition of the word water. So water clearly has a lot of definitions. Number 2 for aqua is, the plural form of this one is aquas, AQUAS, and it means a light greenish-blue color. This is a Latin word, and there's more at the word island. Next we have aquacade, aqua with CADE at the end. This is a noun from 1937, a water spectacle that consists usually of exhibitions of swimming and diving with musical accompaniment. So the first aquacade was a water spectacle originally at Cleveland, Ohio. So here we go with the last word of the episode. It is aquaculture. It's a noun from 1864, the cultivation of aquatic organisms as fish or shellfish, especially for food. Aquacultural is an adjective, aquaculture is a transitive verb, and aquaculturist is a noun. I am going to pick apterous as the word of the episode because, like I said, there might be a chance that I actually remember this one, and I'm going to describe myself as apterous because I am lacking wings. That's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye. Hello, 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 word nerds. How are you? I hope you are good. I'm a little tired. I'm going to try and get to bed at a decent hour tonight, because I'm flying tomorrow. But you heard about that 2 episodes ago. Hasn't he flown yet? No, he has not. He's recording 4 episodes at once. So let's get to the third of the 4. The first word is aqua fortis, AQUA. Second word, FORTIS. This is a noun from the 15th century. Synonym is nitric acid. The etymology says this is New Latin and it literally means strong water. Next we have aqua lung. There's a hyphen between the 2 words and the first letter of each word is capitalized. Yes, this is a trademark and it is used for an underwater breathing apparatus. Next we have aquamarine, all one word. This is a noun from 1677. 1, a transparent blue, blue-green, or green variety of beryl used as a gem. Beryl, by the way, is spelled BERYL. I think that's one of the elements. I remember back in, was it junior high maybe? My friend showed me a little, what do you want to call it? Project. Yeah, sure. It was a project that he had to do for his science class, and I think each student had to do a little project about a different element. So he chose beryl, and I remember he did a little spoof of the Crate and Barrel logo or whatever, but instead of the normal word barrel, he put the element spelling barrel. I don't know why I remember that. I don't even know if he'll remember that, but it happened. 2, a pale blue to light greenish blue. This is also New Latin, aqua marina, from another Latin word, and it means sea water. Next we have aquanaut, all one word. It's like astronaut, but in the water. This is a noun from 1881, a scuba diver who lives and operates both inside and outside an underwater shelter for an extended period. how many aquanauts are there really? I know there are a lot of people who kind of live their life in the water, day to day, but I don't think they necessarily sleep in the water in like a building of some kind. I have heard that there are hotels that are underwater, or they have plans to make hotels underwater. I don't even know if they actually exist, but would they be considered aquanauts? I don't know. Next is aquaplane, all one word. This is the first form of two. This first one is a noun from 1912, a board on which a standing rider is towed behind a speeding motorboat. Aquaplaner is a noun. Now we have the second form of aquaplane. It's an intransitive verb from 1919. 1. To ride an aquaplane. 2. This is a British form. It's the synonym hydroplane. Next we have aquaponics. This is a noun from 1981. A system of growing plants in the water that has been used to cultivate aquatic organisms. Next we have aqua regia. Two separate words. I think I pronounced regia correctly. It is spelled R-E-G-I-A. This is a noun from 1617. A mixture of nitric and hydrochloric acids that dissolves gold or platinum. This is a New Latin word, and it literally means royal water. Next we have aquarelle, A-Q-U-A-R-E-L-L-E. This is a noun from 1821, a drawing usually in transparent watercolor. Aquarellist is a noun. Next we have aquarian with a capital A. This is a noun from 1899, and we have the 1B definition for the word Aquarius. And aquarian is also an adjective. Next we have aquarist or aquarist. We've added R-I-S-T to the aqua word. It's a noun from 1863, a person who keeps or maintains an aquarium. Which is our next word, aquarium. This is a noun from circa 1847. 1. A container, as a glass tank, or an artificial pond in which living aquatic animals or plants are kept. 2. An establishment where aquatic organisms are kept and exhibited. The etymology says that this is probably an alternative of the word or phrase aquatic vivarium. Ooh, that sounds fancy. Next we have Aquarius with a capital A. This is a noun from the 14th century. 1A, the 11th sign of the zodiac in astrology. And then it tells me, and I'm telling you, to go see the zodiac table. I'm sorry, you are going to have to wait about 15 to 16 years until we get there. 1B, one born under the sign of Aquarius. I think my mom is an Aquarius. I think my sister's on the cusp. 2. A constellation south of Pegasus, pictured as a man pouring water. This is a Latin word, and it literally means water carrier. So they brought up constellations. Obviously, various cultures around the world have created their own constellations through many generations and millennia. They see certain bright stars and they create a picture out of that. What it makes me think of is, what about other planets in the universe? And what about other intelligent life, probably not too dissimilar from humans, that are also looking up at the stars? And they are seeing a completely different set of stars, maybe the same stars, but definitely they're in a different position and shape. And so they've probably created their own constellations. I want to know what those constellations are. I'm so curious about what their culture is like. How has that defined their culture? Do they have a similar thing to the zodiac like we have here? Maybe there's somebody else on their planet who's recording a similar thing like a podcast, reading a book of all of their words, who's talking about their own type of zodiac. I'm just going to leave it at that. Think about that for a little bit. Next we have aquascape. This is a noun from 1954. 1. A scenic view of a body of water. 2. An area having an aquatic feature, as a pond or fountain. Next, we have aquatic, the first form of two, and I think these will be the last ones for this episode. Aquatic. This is an adjective from 1610. 1. Growing or living in or frequenting water, as in aquatic mosquito larvae. 2. Taking place in or on water, as in aquatic sports. Aquatically is an adverb. And here we go with the second form of aquatic. It's a noun from circa 1600. Right on the nose. 1. An aquatic animal or plant. 2 is using the plural form, so aquatics, and it means water sports. I am going to pick aquanaut as the word of the episode because I think it's super interesting. If there were actually somebody who lives and operates in the water, I guess that's as crazy of an idea as an astronaut, but for some reason it seems harder. I don't know. Anyway, that's the end of the episode. If you want to contact me, information is in the episode details. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, and I'm going to sign off. Until next time, this is Spencer reading the dictionary. Goodbye.